My beloved child, there was not a single night when you cried and I turned my face away. Not one. Not once did you bury your face in the darkness, trying to keep your tears silent, while I stood far from you. Not once did your heart break in secret, without heaven knowing. People may have seen the calmness on your face. They may have thought you were strong, quiet, composed, and able to carry everything. But I saw what was rising beneath the surface. I saw the ocean inside your soul. I heard the sobs you tried to swallow. I heard the prayers that never became sentences. I heard the trembling breath when you wanted to speak to me. But all you could do was sit in silence and ache. And my beloved child, before your tears ever touched the ground, they had already touched my heart. Do not believe the lie that your sorrow disappeared into emptiness. Do not believe that the nights you spent crying were meaningless, simply because no one came to comfort you. Your tears were not wasted. Your tears were not ignored. They rose before me like incense from a soul still trying to believe, even in pain. As it is written in Psalm 56, verse 8, "You have kept count of my wanderings. Put my tears in your bottle. My child, I have never despised your pain. I have never asked you to pretend to be strong in order to be loved by me. You do not have to hide your weakness from the one who already knows every hidden place within you. You do not have to clean up your emotions before coming into my presence. You do not have to turn your grief into beautiful words before I will listen. Sometimes, the most honest prayer is not spoken with the mouth. Sometimes prayer is the quiet surrender of a tired soul. Sometimes, prayer is a hand resting on an open Bible, while the heart has no strength left to read. Sometimes prayer is one tear falling in the dark, while the soul whispers, "Lord, I am still here, and I want you to know this. I received that prayer." I know there have been days when continuing felt heavier than anyone understood. You woke up, moved through the hours, answered people, smiled when you had to, and carried responsibilities while your inner world felt close to collapsing. You learned how to survive in front of others. You learned how to hide the weight. You learned how to cry quietly so no one would ask questions you did not have the strength to answer. But I saw you. I saw the sacrifices no one thanked you for. I saw the battles you fought in your mind before the day even began. I saw the moments when you almost gave up hope, yet still chose to breathe, still chose to rise, still chose to whisper my name. And my beloved child, that mattered to me. You may wonder why I did not answer in the way you expected. You may wonder why the night lasted longer than you thought you could bear. You may wonder why heaven seemed quiet when your soul was crying so loudly. But listen gently. My silence does not mean my absence. There are moments when I am working in ways your eyes cannot yet see. There are times when my hand is beneath you, holding you together, even while you feel as if everything is falling apart. I was not absent in the dark. I was near enough to catch what no one else could see. So tonight, do not be ashamed of your tears. They are not proof that your faith has failed. They are proof that your heart is still alive before me. Feeling broken does not mean you are abandoned. Feeling weary does not mean you are weak. Feeling unable to pray does not mean I have stopped listening. Bring me the fear. Bring me the sorrow. Bring me the questions you are afraid to say out loud. Bring me the part of you that is tired of pretending. I am not offended by your honesty. I am not frightened by your grief. I am your Father, and I know how to hold what is too heavy for you. So breathe slowly. My beloved child, let your soul rest for a moment in this truth. You were seen in the night. You were held in the silence. You were loved even when you felt most broken. And the tears were only the beginning. Because beneath the darkness, I was already preparing something your eyes could not yet see. My beloved child, I know the waiting has not been easy. I know there are days when your heart looks toward the horizon and sees nothing changing. The promise still feels far away. The answer still feels delayed. The door still seems closed. And in the silence, questions begin to rise within you. Lord, did you forget me? Did I misunderstand what you spoke? Why is it taking so long? But my beloved child, listen to me gently. My silence does not mean my absence. Just because you cannot see, my hand moving does not mean I have stopped working. Just because the soil looks still does not mean the seed is dead. Just because your life feels hidden does not mean your future has been buried and forgotten. Look at the seed beneath the ground. To the human eye, it seems lost. It disappears into darkness. No one applauds it. No one sees it growing. No one celebrates what is happening under the surface. But in that hidden place, life has already begun. Before the stem rises, the roots must deepen. Before the fruit appears, the foundation must be formed in secret. And my beloved child, this is what I have been doing in you. What I am doing in you right now is not a meaningless delay. It is preparation. You wanted me to change the season around you quickly. But I was first strengthening the places within you that would need to carry the next season. You wanted the flower to bloom, but I was caring for the roots. You wanted visible breakthrough, but I was teaching your soul how to remain steady when no one else could see what I was doing. There are works of grace that can only be formed in the hidden place. There are depths of faith that cannot grow in constant noise. There are kinds of surrender that are only learned when your own strength is no longer enough. There are prayers that become purer when they are no longer spoken to impress anyone, but only whispered from the deepest part of your heart to me. That is why the waiting has not been wasted. The waiting has been teaching you to trust me when you cannot trace me. It has been teaching you to come back to my presence, not only when your heart is full of emotion, but also when your spirit feels dry. It has been teaching you that faith is not proven only in the moment of receiving, but also in the quiet decision to remain when the answer has not yet appeared. As Habakkuk 2, verse 3 reminds the waiting soul, though the vision waits for its appointed time, wait for it. It will surely come. My beloved child, appointed time is not the same as forgotten time. I do not move according to panic. I do not build according to human pressure. I am not late simply because your heart feels tired. I see the beginning and the end at once. I know what must be healed before certain doors open. I know what must be strengthened before certain blessings arrive. I know what must be removed before something holy can be entrusted to your hands. There were things you once begged me to give quickly, but your soul was not yet ready to carry them in peace. There were doors you wanted opened, but behind them were burdens your heart could not yet hold. There were relationships, opportunities, and dreams you thought were being denied, when in truth, I was protecting you from entering too soon. Do not despise the hidden season. The desert is not only a place of lack. It can become the place where distractions fall away and your soul learns what truly gives life. In the desert, you discover that my presence is not decoration for an easy life. My presence is water. My presence is bread. My presence is shelter when everything else feels uncertain. So today, do not let waiting turn into despair. Let it become the place where your faith takes deeper root. When you feel forgotten, return to me. When you feel delayed, place the timeline in my hands again. When you feel restless, ask me not only to change the circumstance, but to form within you a heart that can walk with wisdom, peace, and endurance. Say to me, Lord, I do not understand the waiting, but I trust that you are not absent. Teach me what must be learned in this hidden place. Strengthen my roots before you raise my branches, and I will meet you there. I will meet you in the quiet room. I will meet you in the long night. I will meet you in the season where no one sees progress but heaven. Because when the roots have grown deep enough in the hidden place, I will begin to heal what was broken in the places no one else could reach. My beloved child, I see the wound you learned to hide. I see the pain that did not come from strangers, but from the very places where your heart expected safety. And I know that kind of pain reaches deeper than ordinary disappointment. When someone far away misunderstands you, it hurts. But when someone close to you wounds you, the ground beneath your soul begins to tremble. Because the heart naturally looks for shelter in those it loves. You wanted to be understood. You wanted to be protected. You wanted to be seen without having to explain every ache inside you. But instead, there were moments when words pierced you quietly. There were looks that made you feel small. There were expectations that taught you to shrink yourself so others could remain comfortable. Little by little, you learned how to survive by silence. You learned how to keep the peace by burying your own pain. You learned how to smile while something inside you was breaking. You learned how to ask yourself, am I the problem? If I were better, quieter, stronger, easier to love, would they have treated me differently? But today, my beloved child, I speak truth into the root of that lie. You were never the problem. What others could not give you was not proof that you lacked value. Their inability to love you with tenderness did not make you unworthy of tenderness. Their wounds, their immaturity, their unhealed patterns, and their blindness did not define the worth I placed inside you. People can only give what they truly carry within themselves. Some who are wounded wound others without understanding the depth of what they are doing. Some who never received healing pass pain forward from one generation to another. But my beloved child, I am calling you to something different. I am not calling you to continue the cycle. I am calling you to let it end with you. As Joseph once said in Genesis 50, verse 20, you intended to harm me, but God intended it for good. I did not create the betrayal. I did not delight in the pain. But I am powerful enough to enter even the darkest places of your story and bring light where darkness thought it had the final word. So do not confuse what happened to you with who you are. You are not the rejection. You are not the harsh word. You are not the silence that made you feel invisible. You are not the family pattern, the broken relationship, the abandonment, or the accusation spoken over your life. You are mine. And now I am bringing truth into the places where lies have lived for too long. As it is written in John 8, verse 32, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Truth may feel painful at first, because it opens your eyes to what you once tried to normalize. It shows you where you carried blame that never belonged to you. It shows you where you called something peace, when it was really fear. It shows you where you kept silent, not because your soul was at rest, but because you were afraid of losing love. But my beloved child, peace built upon the burial of your soul has never been the true peace that comes from heaven. True peace does not require you to disappear. True love does not demand that you lose yourself in order to keep someone else. And forgiveness does not mean continuing to allow others to wound you. Hear me clearly. Forgiveness is holy. But forgiveness is not the same as pretending nothing happened. Forgiveness is not returning to the same place without wisdom. Forgiveness is not handing your heart back to those who have shown they do not know how to guard it. Forgiveness means releasing judgment into my hands. As Romans 12, verse 19 says, vengeance is mine. I will repay. This does not mean I am asking you to become bitter. I am asking you to become free. Your heart was not created to carry revenge. Your soul was not made to spend its whole life proving how deeply it was hurt. I already know. I already saw. I already heard the cries you swallowed in silence. Now let me be the judge. And let me teach you how to walk in wisdom. Setting boundaries is not rebellion. Speaking honestly about pain is not selfishness. Refusing to live under manipulation is not a lack of love. Sometimes a boundary is the fence around a garden I am trying to restore. It does not exist to punish others. It exists to protect what is healing. My beloved child, I am rebuilding the foundation of your soul. Not with fear, not with shame, not with the old belief that you must earn love by enduring everything. I am rebuilding you with truth, dignity, wisdom, and the steady knowledge that your worth has always been held in my hands. You do not have to keep shrinking to be loved. You do not have to keep carrying blame that was never yours. You do not have to call false peace holy. Come to me with the wound. Come to me with the memory. Come to me with the questions that still ache. I will not shame you for needing time to heal. I will not rush what is tender. I will sit with you in the places others misunderstood. And I will speak truth until your soul can breathe again. And once the lie about your worth begins to break, I will not leave you empty. I will begin to show you who you truly are. My beloved child, now I want you to look at yourself through my eyes. Not through the eyes of old wounds. Not through the voices that once made you feel small. Not through the memories that taught you to question whether you were worthy of love. For too long, you have carried names I never gave you. Rejected. Too sensitive. Not enough. Too broken. Too late. Too weak to be used by me. But my beloved child, those names were born from pain. They were not spoken from heaven. They came from moments that wounded you, people who misunderstood you, and seasons that tried to define you by what you survived. But I knew you before any of that, as it is written in Jeremiah 1, verse 5. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before the world had a chance to measure you, I had already called you by name. Before people saw your weakness, I saw the purpose I placed within you. Before anyone wounded your heart, I had already marked your life with my love. Your identity is not something you must spend your whole life chasing. It is not a prize you receive when you finally become perfect. It is not a medal handed to you by human approval. It is not built from achievements, appearances, popularity, or the opinions of people who only saw one small part of your story. Your identity comes from me, and what comes from me cannot be erased by what happened to you. My beloved child, I did not choose you because you were always strong. I did not call you because you never struggled. I did not place my hand upon you because you knew how to hold everything together. I chose you because you are mine, and even in your weakness, my grace has had room to move. As I spoke in 2 Corinthians 12, verse 9, my power is made perfect in weakness. This means your weakness has never disqualified you from my love. Your tears have not disqualified you. Your questions have not disqualified you. The seasons when you felt lost, tired, afraid, or unsure did not cause me to turn away from you. In fact, the places where you felt weakest have often become the places where my strength could be revealed most clearly. You thought I was only healing you so you could survive the pain. But I am doing more than healing your wounds. I am restoring your true identity. I am teaching you to stand again, not with pride, not with arrogance, not with a heart hardened by suffering, but with the quiet confidence of one who knows they are loved by the Father. My beloved child, the royalty within you is no longer asleep. It is awakening. But hear me clearly. This royalty is not the royalty of the world. It is not about standing above others. It is not about control, applause, influence, or being seen as greater than anyone else. Heavenly royalty is the dignity of belonging to me. It is the authority to walk in truth when lies surround you. It is the grace to remain tender in a world that often teaches people to become cold. It is the courage to carry light without needing to prove yourself. It is humility with strength, gentleness with wisdom, compassion with boundaries, faith that has passed through fire and still chooses to trust. There is a sensitivity within you that you once thought was weakness. You felt things deeply. You noticed sorrow in others. You sensed heaviness in rooms before anyone explained it. You carried emotions you did not know how to name. And because you did not understand it, you sometimes thought something was wrong with you. But my beloved child, your tenderness is not a flaw. Your heart was not created to be numb. I gave you the ability to feel deeply so you could love deeply. Pray deeply, discern wisely, and comfort others with the comfort you have received from me. But I am also teaching you this. You are not called to carry every burden that enters the room. You are called to carry my light. There is a difference between compassion and exhaustion. There is a difference between loving others and absorbing every pain as your own. In this new season, I will teach you how to remain open without being overwhelmed, how to care without losing yourself, how to listen without letting darkness consume the peace I am growing within you. My beloved child, do not fear this awakening. Yes, it may cause you to change. You may no longer fit into old patterns. You may no longer feel at home in places that once felt familiar. Some voices that once controlled your emotions will lose their power. Some opinions that once kept you awake at night will no longer rule your mind. That is not because you are becoming cold. It is because your identity is becoming stronger than the noise around you. You are learning to live from the affirmation of heaven instead of the approval of the world. You are learning that your worth is not held in human hands. You are learning that you do not have to shrink, beg, perform, or prove your right to exist. You belong to me. You are chosen. You are positioned. You are called by name. So stop calling yourself by names born from old pain. Stop living as though the past has the final authority over your future. Stop bowing your head beneath words I never spoke over you. Lift your eyes. My beloved child, you are not losing yourself. You are returning to the person I created you to be from the very beginning. But identity is not the end of the journey. Because the soul I restore is also the soul I prepare to send. My beloved child, I did not heal you only so you could survive. I know survival itself was once a miracle. There were seasons when simply waking up, breathing through the heaviness, and taking one more step felt like more than your heart could carry. There were days when you did not feel victorious. You only felt tired. You did not feel strong. You only felt willing to keep going because somewhere, deep inside, a small light refused to die. And I saw that light. I guarded it when the night was long. I protected it when sorrow tried to cover it. I breathed upon it when disappointment almost made it go out. And now, my beloved child, that light is beginning to rise. You are not merely being healed from your past. I am commissioning you for your future. But hear me gently. This calling is not about becoming important in the eyes of the world. It is not about standing on a stage, receiving applause, or proving to anyone that you have become strong. The light I place within you is not for pride. It is not for self-exaltation. It is not so others may look at you and say how great you are. It is so they may look at your life and remember that I still restore. I still bind up the brokenhearted. I still lift the weary. I still bring dawn after nights that seemed endless. The tears you once cried in secret are becoming oil. Not oil for display, but oil for compassion. The kind of compassion that cannot be manufactured. The kind that is formed when a soul has known loneliness and still chooses tenderness. The kind that recognizes pain in another person without rushing to judge it. There will be people who feel safe near you, and they may not fully understand why. They will sense peace in the way you listen. They will feel gentleness in the way you speak. They will notice that you do not treat their brokenness as something shameful, because you know what it is like to be broken and still loved by me. This is how light often works. It does not always shout. It does not always announce itself. It simply enters a dark room, and the darkness begins to lose its power. As it is written in 2 Corinthians 6, verse 16, "You are the temple of the living God, my beloved child." This means my presence is not only something you visit in prayer. My presence is something I am forming within you. Your life is becoming a dwelling place where my peace can rest, where my mercy can move, where my light can touch others through ordinary moments. Do not underestimate the small acts of faithfulness. A quiet word spoken at the right time. A prayer whispered for someone who feels forgotten. A gentle response when anger would have been easier. A boundary kept with love instead of bitterness. A testimony shared not to impress, but to give hope. These things matter deeply in my kingdom. You once thought your story was only a place of pain, but I am teaching you to see it differently. Your story is becoming a lamp, not because everything that happened was good, but because I am good enough to redeem what happened. Not because the wounds were holy, but because my grace is holy enough to enter the wounded places and bring life from them. Remember Joseph. In Genesis 39, verse 2, it is written, "The Lord was with Joseph." The Lord was with Joseph when he was misunderstood. The Lord was with him when he was betrayed. The Lord was with him in hidden places where no one could see the destiny being formed. And when the time came, Joseph did not carry only wisdom into the palace. He carried the atmosphere of my presence. My beloved child, I am teaching you the same. What will make your life different is not human perfection. It is not the absence of weakness. It is my presence resting upon you. It is the quiet evidence that you have walked through sorrow and did not let sorrow become your master. You are no longer only the one who was wounded. You are becoming one who can comfort. You are becoming one who can discern. You are becoming one who can carry peace into weary places. But never forget this. The light within you must always remain surrendered to me. Return often to the secret place. Let prayer keep your heart soft. Let my word keep your steps clear. Let humility guard you when doors open. And let love guide you when people are drawn to the healing they see in your life. My beloved child, you are no longer the one standing outside the door. You are the one called to enter, not to be exalted, but to carry my presence, not to prove your worth, but to reveal my grace, not to become untouchable, but to become a vessel through which others may know that healing is still possible. And before you step fully into the new season, I will teach you how to stand firm without returning to the old chains. My beloved child, hear me clearly in this moment. You are not returning to the old version of yourself. The season through which I have carried you was not meant to end with you walking back into fear, shame, self-doubt, and silence. I did not bring you through the night so you could keep living as though the darkness still owned you. I did not heal your wounds so you could continue calling yourself broken. I did not lift your head so you could bow again beneath voices I never sent. You are stepping into a new season. And this new season does not mean every battle will disappear. It does not mean there will never be another difficult day. It does not mean every question will be answered at once. But it does mean this. You will no longer face life as the person you used to be. As it is written in 2 Corinthians 5, verse 17, if anyone is in Christ, they are a new creation. My beloved child, the past existed, but it no longer has the authority to define you. The wounds were real, but they are not your name. The loss is hurt, but they are not your future. The voices that once made you tremble may still try to return, but they will no longer rule the foundation of your soul. For I have engraved you upon my hands, As Isaiah 49, verse 16 says, "See, I have engraved you on the palms of my hands." Your worth is not fragile. It is not held together by human approval. It does not rise and fall according to who stays, who leaves, who understands, or who misunderstands. Your worth has been held in me from the beginning. So walk forward with peace. Not the shallow peace that depends on everything being easy. Not the temporary peace that disappears whenever circumstances change. But the peace I give. The peace that remains because your soul knows it is held by the Father. As Jesus said in John 14, verse 27, "Peace I leave with you. My peace I give to you." My beloved child, this peace will teach you how to live differently. You will no longer rush to prove yourself to people who refuse to see you. You will no longer confuse love with losing yourself. You will no longer call fear wisdom, or silence peace, or endurance holiness when your soul is being crushed. You will learn to pause before reacting. You will learn to pray before deciding. You will learn to let my word become louder than old pain. And because you are stepping into new territory, I am also teaching you how to stand firm. As it is written in Ephesians 6, verse 11, "Put on the whole armor of God." My beloved child, this armor is not given so you may become harsh, cold, or combative. It is given so you may remain steady. I fasten truth around you, so lies no longer bend your posture. I cover your heart with righteousness, or so shame no longer has permission to pierce the places I have healed. I guard your mind with salvation, so accusations cannot settle there as they once did. I place faith in your hands like a shield, so when old fears return, you do not have to obey them. And I place my word within your spirit like a sword of light, not to wound others, but to cut away every chain that tries to pull you back into bondage. You are not empty-handed. You are equipped. You are protected. You are held. You are sent. But remember this always. Your strength is not in your own ability to remain strong. Your strength is in staying close to me. So after this prayer, do not rush back into the noise. Sit with me for a moment. Breathe slowly. Place your hand over your heart and name what you are releasing. Say, "Father, I give you the fear I have carried. I give you the pain I could not fix. I give you the past I cannot change. Teach me to walk forward with wisdom, peace, and faith." Then take one small step of obedience. Do not open the old door just because loneliness knocks. Do not make a decision from panic. Do not return to chains simply because they feel familiar. Choose one act of faith. Pray before you respond. Rest before you carry more. Speak truth where fear used to speak. Keep the boundary that protects the healing I am doing within you. My beloved child, the new season begins quietly. It begins when you stop agreeing with the old lie. It begins when you let my peace guide your next step. It begins when you trust that I am not only the God who healed your past, but the Father who walks with you into your future. Lift up your head. You are not walking back into the old darkness. You are walking forward as one healed, held, and sent by God.